Today's episode is not about art or science of selling, but it is about the heart of selling. So if you are a business owner who is running her business with all her heart and soul, then this episode is rightly for you.
Fall in love with selling as you acquire the right mindset, selling style, and sales process that helps you take your business solution to more prospects, potential clients, and the world at large. If you are a women entrepreneur who is looking to get more sales, scale, and sustainability in your business, you have reached the right place. I'm Roshni Baronia, your host for the show Ace the Sales, which is all about helping you bring your authentic and influential self to each sales conversation.
Emotions are a part of being human, and ignoring them even in business is always the wrong move. And one of the most important emotions that play in any sales situation is your own emotion. The things that are going on in your head and heart are bound to influence your behavior during that conversation or call that you are having with your potential client. And one of the weaknesses that plagues many business owners is the inability to manage their emotions in selling. They do not see things as objectively, and hence they tend to react incorrectly when they should in fact respond thoughtfully. They are not able to present themselves as effectively and as professionally as when they would have done under a controlled scenario. Now let's say in a very hypothetical situation, you've probably had a big fight with your spouse earlier in the day. You kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe the coffee machine broke down early in the morning, or your kid today was especially nasty as he didn't want to go to school. And all of these things were triggering you all around the morning in some way or the other. Now, chances are that your levels of irritation are a little higher than usual, and your patience level is a little lower than usual. And if by chance under these scenarios you happen to go to meet a potential client and he or she comes back to you by saying, "Hey, I'm not sure if this is the right time for me to make this purchase." Boom, that just triggers you off, and you come back to them saying, "Hey, what's wrong? I have given you the best rates. What is stopping you now?" Now, probably I might not be sounding as angry as you might be in this situation, because you are all triggered up with the morning emotions still hanging over on your head. So even a simple sentence like this might come across as being rude to your potential client, which you also understand can be too disastrous for the sale you are trying to close. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you allow your emotions take over you in any sales situation, then chances are that you are going to have a very tough time with convincing your prospect into making a favorable decision. And if by chance the prospect is someone who is a very challenging one, who keeps coming back with very strong or powerful or challenging questions, or pressures you into sharing your price early during the sales meeting, most likely you are able to lose your control and miss out on elements which you have crafted so perfectly for your sales meeting. Probably the pitch, probably a very important objection handling answer, or a client story, or whatever you have decided to share in that sales meeting will not perform up to your standards. Then of course you will come out of that conversation badgering yourself by saying, "Hey, I can't believe I said that. How could I have forgotten to mention that very important bonus service that I had thought about giving to them?" Now all these mess up things will happen because you didn't have control over your emotion. Hence, emotions that matter the most in any sales situation are your own. The business owner who is wanting to serve the client and onboard new business is the person whose emotions matter the most in any sales situation. If you want to be a savvy business owner who is always in control, who is having a calm, cool, and collected stature during a sales conversation, then here are a few emotions that you need to understand. In any given sales situation, there are two kinds of emotions at play. Negative emotions. Negative emotions like fear, that perpetual feeling of anxiety or the fear of rejection, which pushes you to more nervousness and your words come out rambling and you are not able to put your head around the sales pitch that you had designed earlier. Fear is actually triggering you to do all the wrong things, say all the wrong words in that sales situation. Another emotion at play is need, that feeling of desperation to make the sale. Now, probably your balance sheet might be going in red and you are in too much need to close that deal at that very moment. And then this desperation or impatience starts showing up in your conversation and it's very, very evident to your client. This actually can be disastrous to your entire setup or your entire sales process. And lastly, the negative emotion at play is the low self-esteem. Now, this is influenced by all the experiences, the past experiences probably of rejections or failures which have accumulated inside you, and they are actually controlling your mind in a way which is saying that, hey, you missed out on this opportunity earlier and how do you think you can succeed this time? So it is kind of a rabbit hole you are pushing yourself into of low self-worth and low confidence. On the other hand, there are some very positive emotions at play as well. And let me share top 3 positive emotions that can be very well leveraged in any sales situation. First is the clarity. When you are absolutely clear on how your solution is the best fit for your prospects' needs and it feels very easy for you to convince them into buying your product, program or service. Another positive emotion which is very good for your sales performance is confidence. When you are 100% sure of the impact and the results your solution will bring for your client, whether it is your product, program or service which is helping them in their life, business, relationships, health or whatever part of their life. If you are 100% sure of your results, then you will be able to communicate with equal amount of confidence and clarity to your prospects. And lastly, the emotion at play in sales situation is curiosity. Now, this is one of the best emotions any salesperson or business owner can have, because then you are so eager to know about your prospect. You are so willing to understand their needs. You are all ears to listen and ask them the right questions and understand more about their world. And your genuine interest about knowing what's going on in their side of the world is what makes them have that trust and that belief in you and your service delivery. So now the question is that how do you make sure that you are always displaying positive emotions at all times and how you are not letting negative emotions run wild and take you over in a sales meeting, right? So here are 5 things that I want to share with you which definitely should work for you, because this entire month we are discussing things which will help you raise yourself in order to raise in sales and in business, right? So here are the 5 things which will be very, very useful for you in order to bring out positive sales performance. First is developing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to discern, recognize and understand one's own emotional state. And the way to develop self-awareness is to implement a focused and distraction-free downtime for yourself. This is the period where you go into self-assessment, you observe and analyze your behavior, good and bad habits, areas of improvements, which gives you clarity about the tactical moves as well as the mistakes that you are making during any sales interaction. The second thing that you need to do is work upon self-motivation. Now, by sheer nature of the domain of selling, there will be more rejections than approvals. You will be hearing more no's than yeses from your potential clients. So you need to develop a level of assertiveness and resilience so that you are able to look every instance, every episode of a success or rejection as a learning episode. And when you start looking at every episode as a learning lesson, that is what will help you keep up the drive, enthusiasm and positivity even in gloomy or difficult situations. Personal development and motivational resources which are freely available on internet, podcasts like these are always helpful for you to come back into the zone zone and pull yourself up with all the motivation that is required to be confident in a sales conversation. The next thing that you need to work on is building empathy. Now you can practice this every time you are with your prospect. Just listen to their problems and respond to the emotion that they are expressing. In fact, as moms, I think we have ample of opportunities to master this empathy building on a daily basis. Like, I have a teenager son and he has been applying to colleges for his admission this year, and he has been like going on a roller coaster ride of emotions over the past few months, from self-esteem issues to low confidence to now truly confident about where he will get admission. It has been a continuous roller coaster ride for all of us to be through these emotions. And whenever he used to come up with sharing his mind and whatever is going on with him, when he used to cry, when he used to be happy, when he used to be confident, when he used to be totally confused. Now, as a parent, my only job was to just listen to him without any judgment, without any lectures coming across, which I know is very difficult for moms and parents to do. But yeah, children, especially teenagers, do not need judgment. And that's what I was practicing all along his college admission process, that I was just listening to him and just resonating with whatever he is feeling. Even if when at times I used to see him in pain that, he is so depressed that he will not get admission in any college. And I just wanted to cajole him and tell him that no, it's going to be okay. But I just stayed quiet and just listened to him. And that's sometimes what is needed with your prospects also. Just listen to what they are going through. Because sometimes it happens things are in real bad shape at their end. And when they are sharing, we do not have to come across to them with judgment. Be very, very empathetic. And empathy means feeling their emotion without judgment, without adding your own opinion. So build this empathy, and on a daily basis, all of us have enough opportunities to build this emotion. Right? The next thing that you would like to work upon is excelling in relationship management. Now, I don't have to tell much about or teach much about relationship management here, because women by default are nurturers and they are great at relationship building, right? So, of course, this is something which we do as individuals, as gender. What you now need to do is to bring this default nature of yours to the forefront when in a sales conversation. How does this look like? This looks like in way you manage conflicts, disagreements, communication, and building influence, or ability to build meaningful connections and influence people into working with you. And lastly, what you need to work upon is stress management. Now, I can't stress enough about stress management, because here's the googly. You do not ever manage stress, because you manage things which you are intending to keep with yourself. You organize your home, you manage your home, you manage your office because you want it to be in a proper condition. But you do not want to manage stress. You want to release stress. Right? So think about stress as something which you have to let go of. And for that, the best ways are to practice meditation, calmness exercises, yoga, indulge in some hobby, indulge in self-care, have a fitness routine. Journaling is very good, because especially for high pressure work like sales or being a solopreneur, it is very, very important that you pour out your thoughts and emotions onto the paper, because not many a times you have people to discuss it with, right? It's great to have friends and business buddies with whom you can share your emotions and share whatever ups and downs you are going through, your celebrations, your failures, whatever is happening. It is very good to have those people around you with whom you can share things. If in case you are someone who is better off keeping things to herself, then you should definitely at least pour your things out onto a paper as a journaling exercise, because it will release you of a lot of stress and overthinking and the mental chatter that is going on. So those were the 5 things that you need to do in order to manage your emotions very well in any sales situation. Let me repeat it again for you. Developing self-awareness, increasing your self-motivation, building empathy, excelling in relationship management, and stress management management, that is stress releasing. Right? I hope by practicing these things, you will be able to take control of your emotions in a much better and powerful way in any business situation. And when you are coming to any conversation with your full authentic self, with complete clarity of thoughts and purpose, you will have a much better impact and influence on your prospect or potential client and have very successful sales and negotiation meetings. So now that you have learned how to manage your emotions, I'm sure you will be keen to understand how you can manage your buyer's emotions as well, right? And that is exactly what I will be discussing in the next episode. So make sure you subscribe to Ace the Sales podcast right now so that you do not miss next week's episode. It will release on Thursday, and I will see you again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It means a lot to me that you've taken out the time to spare to listen to this podcast episode. I hope I was able to provide some value to you. And if you had some learnings from today's episode, do consider leaving us a 5-star review or a rating on Apple iTunes. It will mean the world to me and it will help me take this podcast to more and more people. And if you are planning to launch your podcast, you should definitely check out hubhopperstudio.com because that's the place my podcast is hosted, and I am super thrilled and happy with the features and customer support they provide. Hubhopper is India's leading podcast creation platform, which can be the perfect place from where you can share your voice to the entire world. So go check out the link in the show notes, and I will see you next week.